And another announcement is over here is that those who have sent the paper but not registered themselves for the conference, kindly register and send the publication fee as well in advance to avoid the publication of your paper in the ISBN book.
Hello.
Sir,
Hello.
shall I start?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir had
Nikam,
joined,
Nikam.
and yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Ma'am.
Very good
Ma'am
afternoon,
also
one and
joined.
all. Once again, I welcome on behalf of the organizing committee all the dignitaries and the resource person and chairperson of the sessions and dear participants over here. Gopal sir, who is the associate professor from Department of Mathematics, JJU Central University, Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh, India. And we have also the chairperson of this session, Honorable Dr. J.D. Machada, Madam. Before we start this session, I would like to invite Professor Vishal Nikam sir, the head of the Department of Mathematics of our college, to introduce the resource person in the session for session 2. Over to Nikam.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Process.
Yes. Thank you. Very good afternoon, one and all. All the dignitaries of the institution, honorable principal, all the committee members. Today it is a very honor moment for me, because all the two personalities are all are my gurus. So Dr. J.D. Mashal ma'am, chairperson of the session, head department of mathematics, today it is great for me to introduce today's resource professor, department of mathematics, Guru Ghasidas Central University. Sir is also professor in Surat. Currently, sir is working as a visiting faculty in University of Spain. So today, sir are going to deliver if we see the interest of Dr. Gopal sir. Sir is working in fixed point theory, fuzzy analysis with possible application for solving differential and integral equation, along with utilizing the fuzzy analysis and related fixed point theorems in optimization theory and computer science. If we see the educational qualifications, sir had completed MSc with gold medalist from Guru Ghasidas University, Bilaspur. Sir had completed PhD in 2006 on some fixed point theorems. Sir is also awarded Young Scientist Award in 2009. Sir had completed a research project by CSIR, Government of India, and the title of the project was The Study on Fixed Point Theorems for Single Value and Multi-Value Mapping and Their Applications to Approximations. Yes, it is again a proud moment for us is that sir has write many of books. Among them, one is Background and Recent Development on Metric Fixed Point Theory, and which is in the reference book of University of Mumbai. Sir is worked as a guest editor for many of the national and international journals. Among them, some of are nonlinear operator theory, fixed point theory in abstract metric space with generalized contractive conditions, and many more. Sir has supervised 5 PhD students and 6 dissertation students. Again, sir has visited many of the national and international institutions for the research works. Among them, Department of Mathematics and Statistics, Faculty of Science, Tasman University, Thailand. Sir again visited Department of Mathematics, King Morat University, Technology, Thonburi, KMUTT, Bangkok, Thailand. Sir is again visited as an Department of Mathematics as a researcher for University of Portland, South Africa. Sir also visited for the University of Shahidani, Iran. Sir is visited for the Department of Mathematics, Ovago University. Sir is a live member of Result Fixed Area Application. Sir is also a member of International Academy of Physical Sciences. If we see the publications, sir has a total 131 publications in SCI and ESCI. Sir has delivered many of the talks for the many of the international and national conferences. If we see the list, this is very long. Yes, sir has arranged many of the international, national symposium, STTP, workshop, conference, and many more events. Yes, sir has again invited many of the invited for the guest lectures for the TCube second MMSC code 2015-2016. Again, delivered various talks for the various national and international conferences, workshops in India and abroad. Again, sir has an administrative work as a, if you see, the departmental coordinator exam cell, member of institution library in SVNIT. Again, sir has worked as a coordinate for the departmental library funded by NHM. So this is the CV of sir. I had tried to cover within short period of time. With this, today sir is going to talk on fuzzy social distance and its applications. So I welcome on behalf of the department and college for the today's session. Thank you.
Thank you
Over
so
to
much.
Bansude, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for a sweet and wonderful introduction of the business person who has the dynamic personality in the respective field. Now, dear participants, we have the chairperson of this session, Honorable Dr. Jyoti Mashali ma'am, who is the yes, Mashali ma'am is the head of the Department of Mathematics, School of Computational Sciences, Punyashulok Ahila Devi Holkar, Solapur University, Solapur. On behalf of the organizing committee, I welcome you, ma'am, and I request you to take over this virtual dais for the session 2 of this conference. Over to you, ma'am. You are not audible now.
Hello. Thank you, ma'am. You are not audible. Please select the option call via network. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. You are not audible still.
Ma'am, disconnect the meeting and then rejoin. And select the option call via network.
Could you, Nikam sir, could you
Yes,
call
yes.
ma'am, please?
I think our voice is getting ma'am, but ma'am voice is not getting to us.
Yeah, yes,
Ma'am
sir,
has, yes, ma'am had disconnected. If she is not joined, I will call them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Do the needful, sir.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. You are audible now.
Am I audible, sir, now?
Yes, absolutely, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
I'm
ma'am.
very much thankful to Honorable Principal and all the organizing committee members of this international conference for giving me the opportunity to be the chair of the session. I take this privilege to welcome the respected Dr. Dhananjay Gopal sir for the keynote address in the first day of this international conference on recent fields in humanities, social science, science and commerce organized by Arts, Commerce, Science College only. I also welcome all the participants and the invitees. Today, sir is going to give the keynote address on the topic of fuzzy social distance and its application. As we all know, fuzzy mathematics is having large number of applications in social sciences, economics, engineering. Okay, therefore, we were very eager to actually listen Dr. Dhananjay Gopal sir. With this, I request Dr. Dhananjay Gopal sir to please start the session.
Over to Honorable Dr. Gopal, sir.
Good morning to all of you. Thank you, madam. Thank you, chairperson. Thank you, Dr. Vishal Nigam. Thank you, organizing committee. First of all, tell me, my voice is okay or is?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is absolutely okay, sir.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
So it's pleasure for me that I get an opportunity to join this conference. So thanks once again to the organizing committee, especially the Vishal, who is very much interested. And by the way, this is very early morning, therefore I'm somehow scaring to start my video. I've just taken a tea, but anyway, it's not a problem.
Thank you so much.
So I will try to. This is a recent idea actually with my new student, and I work in the area of this fixed point theory and especially the nonlinear analysis. And the conference is especially so diverse and is very lots of variety of subjects. So it's not going to be useful if I choose some kind of my topic, it's like to calculate very insight, like, Cantor set and the properties of Cantor set and so many other real analysis like this. So therefore, I choose that this topic, which is we are actually trying to explore it, is yet this we are working in this, we have not completed. So I choose that let us try to have something. And the mathematics is very simple, by the way, at that, but we are looking forward to see how we can end up with this application area. So let me first share my screen. Can you see Vishal?
Not at
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We
Yes,
can. It is visible.
Yes, sir. No, now it is.
Visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Visible.
Just give me a minute. Yes, I check it whether it is properly going on or. Okay, so this is actually the title, fuzzy social distance and its applications. So the main idea is about this, the social distance is like, we can say like we have the Facebook, Twitter, and some other kind of, these days is a social, medium to chat or whatever, deliver or to be link up. So, but it's like that the social gap, how to the social gap, you mean it's not only this, the actual social gap is we also talk about in terms of economy, in terms of livelihood, in terms of, that counts. So we really understand that, yes, if I ask, or if the peoples ask me from this Spain, suppose as my friend, how about the Indian, like I asked to Professor Khuan here that What about the salary of the professors and the salary of the non-teaching and the salary of like what we called our, you know, the lower grade and so and so. So it's like that is really, if you feel is there is a gap, you know, long gap, in the sense that like professors are getting such much very nice salary, handsome salary, and the lower grade non-teaching, you know, getting salary. And by the way, their whole life, like in India, 60 or 62 with the retirement, the whole life they serve, but still when they complete their job, still they are very much worried about how to you know, educate our children, how to send them the college or the engineering and so and so. So even after they retired, I mean, they spent whole life, but still they are, you know, very much scared about this challenges. But in other way, like the professors and some other, you know, the professionals having a good amount of salary. So this not much worry about it. I mean, is in very different sense, but not like that. So this is one of the simple gap, and there are so many other gaps. So we are trying to find out some way to at least try to study and explore the mathematics. So this is from the recent paper, one of the paper we try to study it, and then we try to use the fuzzy, actually the fuzzy distance. So let me come to some of the, okay, I think this is just a moment. Yeah, okay. So these are somehow contents of today presentation. So fuzzy social distance, and then some kind of fuzzy metric we have, that is fuzzy pseudometrics. It's like a pseudometric, and so fuzzy pseudometrics. And then the application of this distance in terms of social gap, and we have some kind of graphs like that for presentation. So very recently, this the author, they used the study of this social gap in terms of the classical metric. They applied the classical metric to find out how to relate this social gap, compute the social rank, and so the social gap. There is an idea of social rank, and so the social gap. And our idea is to use, instead of classical metric, the fuzzy metric, because fuzzy metrics is more flexible than the classical metric. It can be defined in many ways. So this is maybe I will come to the data set actually, instead of mathematics first. So what I mean is that I'm just starting with the idea that this is like a graph, you know. So this is like a bunch of peoples, and we consider the particular peoples like X and Y, and then we wanted to see how much, you know, the association they have. But at the same time, this like for me and Vishal, and but at the same time I have my other the students are the colleagues like Praveen, and for me, like my other, like in Surat, Sukla sir and some others. So we are associated with each other, but maybe Vishal will give me the priority number 2, 3 like that. But what about myself? How much priority I will give to the Vishal? Maybe not 2, 3, because I have already others. So maybe 10, 11, something like that. So, you know, there is the priority basis there is a, a gap. In fact, we like, we are collaborators, we are liking persons, but still there is a kind of not appropriately, there is a kind of gap in terms of rank. But this rank kind of things is more, desirable to study when it involves like the real situation, more real situation like poverty, hungry, and many other things. So to study such problem, the fellow started to define the rank. So he started the idea of here as a mathematics. He started defining. Yeah, he started to defining some kind of mathematics. He calls to be lemma mean is a one, and so on. He called then in mathematical terms like the distance between x and y. We will reference is usual dxy. So first of all, there is a two sets of data points with two subset of each of them as follows, like this: xy, yx. And here the notations are like this: x strictly y, you mean all those points in the data set, such that it will have property like this. That means dxi comma x, the distance is always strictly less than distance between x and y. These are kind of technical mathematical idea as a distance. So now they use this idea to define the rank, and notation is like m x by y, that x gives to y as well as the opposing rank like myx. So it may be defined like mathematically to define this, use this rank to define the another metric. So we can define the social metric. We call this to be the social metric. Is nothing but a distance. Whatever we are considering is a distance, So therefore is naming the social distance. So between 2 points like x and y. So we use this this lemma mean to define the new metric capital D, small d, xy. We call this a social metric. And of course, this L1 mxy myx will be nothing but is given in terms of the square, this formula. So it's typical in terms of mathematics, but the whole idea is to study that the gap as a distance, as the idea of a distance. So there are something like if for regular n-dimensional data space, if you take n is greater than 0 and any two couples x and y, so is actually is mathematical calculations like that. It's like n plus 1 by 2s. So therefore, the social distance for all samples in the data set is n-dimensional regular data space is actually, if we calculate, it's like this: n plus 1 by n plus 3 for n-dimensional. I mean, data set we are having in n dimension. So therefore, we have this as a general social distance function as a to the family of social distance is defined by equation number 4. LK is of course lemma mean family for two variables mxy and myx. So in fact, this idea is this actually form a distance. This has the property of distance, positivity, symmetry, and triangle inequality. So anyway, so the main idea is to look at this 4, and because it is a classical metric, this classical metric, so our idea is to first of all see whether this can be have a kind of fuzzy metric, and then apply the fuzzy metric to study this social gap. So for that, we have now the fuzzy metric. Many of you know the fuzzy metric who will be using the fuzzy kind of mathematics. So this is our the idea that yes, it can be defined instead of this. You replaces the classical metric by capital D. D is the new metric. So the fuzzy social distance can be defined by this way between X and Y. And this is also another, by the way, the metric we can define like this: mean by max. So fuzzy, you mean always in between 0 and 1. So the main idea is like the distance, the classical distance is from 0 to open infinity. But in the case of fuzzy, we always in between 0 to 1. So it's, you can see that this value will be in between 0 to 1. Similarly, this will be in between 0 to 1. So the idea of fuzzy metric is to in between the value to be in between 0 and 1. So of course, these are some mathematics which we develop as a tool. So this is just a proof that how to prove this is going to be as a fuzzy metric. So I'm not going to give this as a mathematical things. Now, this is the one of the main point to study the fuzzy metric is that there is a comparison, in the data set, these two data set. They have in the paper, they have studied the social gap by defining the rank and so the distance. So distance is called the social gap. So here we can see that in the classical sense, they are getting 0.847. 0.847. Now, please keep in mind that the social gap will be, if the social gap will be 0, then there is, in the classical sense, if the social gap is going to be 0, then we are in a very ideal situation. I mean, there is no gap actually. So distance is 0. That means the X and Y become the same. But here you see, in the calculation point of view, is getting actually is based on the data set. It depends on the data set. So I am not given as a what data. It's up to you what kind of data you can take it. So accordingly, you can play with the metric. So with one data set, the earlier paper, the idea is there is getting this the distance, social distance is 0.847. Is far away from the 0. What we want to be 0. This distance we want to be 0. But in these two cases, the two fuzzy metric, instead of 0, we should expect to be 1. In the case of fuzzy, whenever the fuzzy distance is going to be 1, the points are going to be same. That means there is no gap for which we are studying. So here is kind of 0.5 and 0.3. That means 0.541, 0.367 anyway. So similarly, these are the the comparison of when applying the classical distance to study the social gap and the fuzzy metric kind of things when we apply. So we are getting, actually there is a very difficult to compare properly. We cannot say which one is better, which one is like, because here is 0.8. This seems to move towards 0, converge towards 0. But here you see 0.5, 0.3. We expect that is move towards 1. So still we have to see what kind of this we need to improve this distance. In fuzzy distance, we need to improve more. We have to see how much things we can involve in, by further studies, that this is more towards the 1. And similarly also we can, if it is possible, this goes more towards to 0 in some other way. So the application of fuzzy social distance is like, GIS is like have been able to collect, examine, and manage spatial and geographical data for design of GIS. So we have the relevant to data structure and computational methods is required, especially for locations, intelligence is data mining and the knowledge discovery technique that aims to find a significant pattern in the relationship between geospatial data. So, it seems that I'm just talking, but it's like that. What I'm saying is that this geospatial data, so you need the data, and then according to data, you have to use it for the GIS. But again, the point is that the data set which you are using, again, how much the correlation is there or not, how to identify, like the gaps, what we are saying, like we need a kind of the data, and so that we can have the appropriate our mechanism. So for that, we need to understand that what we have and how still we are needing. So that is a kind of gap. So it's like that the geographical location is not always a requirement for more general spatial data. This data still includes like location on Earth as a subset of their properties. Location is valued as a crucial variable in the geospatial analysis for calculating spatial relationships, like in the distance between spatial units. So of course, it depends on if you see the images, so any images, there is a kind of the units actually is a segmentation of we call the units. So that units is required, and how to calculate this unit is also important. To how to calculate the unit, so that you can make it the pixel more and more and more, is also comes like image processing. So there we also use nothing but the distance. There are some papers we use the fuzzy distance. From Spain only there are the papers, fuzzy sets and systems. They have explained how to use it. But anyway, this is so here in terms of wordings, like when we are talking about the use of computing some fuzzy distance between the point X and Y in n-dimensional space. So we are choosing like a coordinates and the distance function for immediate computation. We do not need to care much about the location of these points are inhabited with some data sample or not. In a case of fuzzy social distance, we also use the coordinates to compute some distance like dxy, which will be used to substitute to approach the fuzzy social distance. So it's like that. Our objective is not to answer the question, what is the distance between the points X and Y, but it is like what would be the distance between the two data samples if to place them into the points X and Y. Like the data set we considering as a points. So we compute like dxy and only creating the border of the neighborhood both for X and for Y to be able to count the amount of neighbors within these neighbors. So it's like that, like forward and backward breadth is like such. You see this as a graphical. So you can see here the social rank, like, YX, and here is strictly less than, this is data set. 8, 9, 10, 11, 1 belongs to this data set. And we wanted to see the distance with respect to, so 6, 13 and X. Here is X, you will change the X. So MXY we are getting is like 7. MXY we are getting is like 7. But here MXY we are getting, MYX. And here MXY we are getting like 8. In the sense that if you are considering from like X to Y, Nikum to me, Vishal to me is like 8. Or yeah, no, 7, you can say MYX. But in some sense, from me to Vishal is going to be like 8, the priority. So therefore, in this way, the social gap we have calculated in a way is like this, in this capital D, M, D, M, capital N, capital N. It's like that. So the graph can also be represented. The variety of graphs representation style are used to depict additional distance between 2 points in a city or other areas. So graph is also used in some sense. So as I mentioned that this is just, the starting point of calculation of the idea of social gap using considering the entities as a whole as a data set, and pick up that point as a data set, different data set you call as a points, and then you look at how they are their connections, how their relations are there. So we are just started about this idea to use it and to get more data set, more accurate data set to match with some other the real phenomena, So this kind of distance we are using, and still this is a, the work is still going on, the thinking process is going on, because ultimately to say exactly that yes, this my work is a real application right now in the perfect way, so for that we need something to perfect comparison. So ultimately what I can say is this is a new idea. So you can see that I'm here, we study social gap with respect to the fuzzy metric to compute the social distance between geospatial objects, humans, artificial entities, some abstractions in data samplings, as the measure of the social asymmetry of their views to each other. Asymmetry, you mean like you have MXY and MYX. MYX is 7 and MYX is 8. There is asymmetry. It's not symmetry. It should be the same. Like what I like to Nikam and what Nikam like me is going to be the same, then is going to be the perfect way. And it could be possible in many ways, not always, but in many ways it is possible. We always wish to have our children to be study in a manner that like girls and boys are in the same way. It's not like that you prefer boy or somehow neglect the girl. It's not like that. It's treated to be the more. That means there should not be the social gap. But what I am saying is just an instant, but how to look at more in terms of computational aspect whenever there is required, so that we need the mathematics. And so that this is just an illustrative ideas. So a common illustration of this asymmetry which create a distance or a gap between the couples is abstract schema. You are my close friend and I am only the 9th in your list of friends. Any other metric can be used. Like what I am saying is this one here, you are my close friend, but if you list it where you belongs to the 9th. So any other metric can be used in combination with this fuzzy matrix and some sort of samples according how you want it to the close, how you want it to the relate. This can be actually possibly used. So still we are looking forward to see the work in this line. So also that, as I mentioned, that I can talk on the the other non-linear analysis, but this is, I wanted to give a message that this is a kind of the possibility where one can explore the ideas to look at this application-oriented idea. So I think I'm about to finish because there is not much to still to say on it. I wanted to just show you one a paper, just a moment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, just please, just hold a minute. Just sorry, just 1 minute, because I am very close this computer.
Yes, sir. Yes. Kindly take your time, sir.
Need to stop this and other paper will be able to share.
No, I have in my mail, but how it is? I can open it. Yeah, I can open it. It's coming, just maybe half second is then open it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, for the sharing, you need to close this, stop this PPT.
Present PPT. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, yes.
You need to stop this present PPT.
No, but it will be,
allowed to.
this has to be shared, I wanted to share it. It's open file, okay, and just told me, is it visible now?
Current PPT is just visible to us.
Okay.
Presentation one.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you see, this is a geographical information sciences journal. They really started the idea of this social game. So what I mean is, it's not like that the expert is going to deliver a talk and everybody listen and he is only the expert. No, no, it's not the idea. The idea is that to message that what's going on and what is the best. I mean, this still there are so nice possibility. So in this paper he started motivational idea like Lincoln Day, Facebook, and so on. He has given like this. He considered like a person 479 as a person in one data set and other data set, and he get like that what is going to be if I have like decided to make a friend. So whether if the guy is going to accept, then it is going to be the 120th as a number in his account. But what about the other fellow? So this paper is really use this to study this kind of even this the gap, what we call the social gap, in terms of using this the classical metric, which we are I discussed that they use the classical metric, but fuzzy is more flexible, so we can go further for the fuzzy. So is like he wanted to use a technique that the gap can be avoided as much as possible. So this paper is very interesting and nice paper to look at further in this area of social gap, to study of social gap. And not only this there is another which I like much, and still we are working, is the social traveler. He used the social traveler to maybe here as no, it's not there in the last. Yeah, social traveler, variation of the social distance metric. So social traveler is a kind of anything which belongs to the society. So moving and to know how much the mutual correspondence is there or not, how much is requirement. So this is just a one simple idea he started, but it still is need to go on. So one can prefer, if somebody likes to be in this area, this paper is just a, I think is initial paper, by the way. So that is my motto to as like a message. We can study the social distance kind of social gap kind of aspect using some mathematical, simple mathematics, but we need more to be deep inside the getting new tools and to compare and to evaluate. So I think I finished from my side in this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for being present over here. I think you have made all the convenient for this conference from Spain, sir. Now I invite the question from the participant on behalf of the chairperson of this session, Honorable Jyoti Machade, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
May I audible, sir?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
My question is, can we relieve this fuzzy distance in students?
Yeah, absolutely. That's I am saying. Yes, absolutely. What I mean, absolutely, it's not. My point is that you just ask a question and that I'm saying, yes, it is possible. What I mean is that it only depends on the data set. You give me the number of students. You give me the number of, okay, my answer is yes. Only thing is that the data set has to be considered, like, section A, section B. Let me tell you where it is. We need to form a data set, sir. And then once we have the like this data set, we need to form a data set, and corresponding to that, we can see the data set. We can take the point, and then we can use this any of this idea to calculate the distance. Distance in the sense is like that. There is one example. Yeah, like x and y in the data set. So mxy is 6, myx is 5. This kind of things is possible, but it's need to be more, more oriented to conclude as perfect conclusion. We need more and more the computational aspect with the data set. Is it? But it is more computational. Is to go inside and then take it and then compute it. It's not so much easy. It's not so much easy.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
please.
Proceed, sir.
Sir, my question is that can we find student diversity in terms of
Sorry?
fuzzy mathematics?
Sorry, sir.
Student
What is the
diversity in terms of, that is, economical background, language, etc.
Yes, that's I'm telling you. This is the data set. You first prepare the data set and then compute it. These are, then like is a sample of data set, and we compute, then we are getting like this. This number is nothing but the social gap. They are saying about the social gap or the gap which we are wanted to consider. Yes, this is nothing but the calculation.
Yes, sir. Any other participant, please?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Proceed.
Suppose we have the two data sets, and there are suppose different factors for the social gap. Suppose we can discuss the economical gap. If we need to suppose discuss the educational gap, can we consider for a multi-valued mapping to that single metric can discuss all these things? Is this allow in the fuzzy metric, or we need to consider different things? Hello. Hello.
Okay. Sorry. Yes, this is very nice expected question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You can. Okay, Vishal, can you see it and can you answer the question of yourself? Your
I think yes,
question.
we can consider the multi-valued mapping. I am thinking like that. That we should consider the multi-valued mapping. Then we can only consider all the factors for the social gap.
Yes. So this is for just the data set. One data set you are considering. Like data set, you mean there is of course like a class in a group A, group B. But what wanted to you consider? Like only one gap. Only one aspect. This is for only one aspect. So what you said is really need to consider that. But at the same time, if you have the multi-valued mapping, okay, the mapping is multi-valued, but still that involve the, at the same time, like the in terms of education, in terms of economy. So this is single. This is single. It's giving only single. Either the education gap, either the economical gap, either the some other. It's not like education and the economy both. It's not giving this. So it is a very nice question, but we have to see if we give the multi-valued mapping is okay. Multi-valued you are giving, but how again you look at to see whether it's really gives the answer for both the questions. For the both aspect. This is the new area. New way to think it and to calculate it. Absolutely. So for me, I don't know.
Okay, okay. We have to study on that. Yes, yes.
You know, the house guard distance again is a, of course there is a house guard distance, but it's not saying that if I don't know really is give for the multiple aspects.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, you are not audible. Vishal, sir. Sir, you are not audible. Hello. Yes, ma'am. May I invite the chairperson of this session, Honorable Jyoti Mashale ma'am, for the expert comment on the plenary session 2 of this conference. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I am very honored and delighted to chair the section and to deliver the concluding remarks. The session by Dr. Dhananjay Gopal sir has been very rich and interactive. Sir has given the ideas on fuzzy metric social distances and have openly shared their ideas on the way forward. Also, sir has given the meaning of fuzzy social distance and social metric, with the help of which the applications of fuzzy social distances was understood very clearly. Along with this, sir has focused on the applications of graph. Also, with the help of fuzzy metrics, sir has given how to compute the social distances between geospatial objects, humans, artificial entities, and abstractions as a measure of social symmetry. Therefore, I am very much thankful to Dr. Dhananjay Gopal sir for giving this invited talk and enriching us with the valuable information of fuzzy social distances and its application. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now it is our duty of the college and organizing committee to express the gratitude towards the dignitaries, resource person, as well as the chairperson of this session. So I request my colleague and the member of the organizing committee, Dr. Maske sir, to propose a vote of thanks of this session. Over to Dr. Maske sir.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I am here to propose a vote of thanks, as it is our duty and privilege to express gratitude towards the resource person and the chairperson of the session on this occasion. I, on behalf of the organizing committee, extend my sincere thanks to the resource person of this session, Dr. Dhananjay Gopal sir, for being present and enriching our knowledge with his expertise in the field of fuzzy mathematics and their applications. And I am also thankful to the chairperson of this session, Dr. Jyoti Mashale ma'am, for joining with us on this virtual platform and the expert remark on this occasion. Thank you all once again. Thank you. Over to Dr. Banswade, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Dear participant, thank you, Honorable Dr. Gopal sir and Mashale ma'am, for joining with us and gracing with your expertise in your field. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Dear participants, now we have a lunch break from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. We are going to meet again sharp at 2 p.m. for the session 3 and session 4 again. So we will stop here. Sir, shall we leave the meeting or continue? What should I do?
We will stop here, sir, for lunch.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Dear participant, all of you are kindly requested to join at 2 p.m. sharply.
The same link.
Yeah, with the same link, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.